Welcome back to the MBP Movie Podcast, episode 2 of 2019. And joining me as always is my brother, my co-host, Dan. Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah, not bad at all, not bad at all.
Stuff.
So, shall we just dive in?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about Titans tonight, even though it's a movie podcast. We do have some questions from last week that Spilldevil want to get to first. And if we have time at the end, we'll also get to some new questions we've got this week. If not, we will save those for next time. So, shall I just dive straight into questions, Dan?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, Heat Vision 38 from Superhero Hype, a forum I visit that I mentioned last week, he said, when does Aquaman have time to trim that perfect beard? What does he use to cut his hair? And does he pee in the ocean? Oh, that's a really good question.
Well, I'm sure he uses a sharp shell or something to cut his beard. And okay. I guess yes is the answer to peeing in the ocean, because where else is he going to do it?
Do you think Atlanteans are just flying around, like floating around peeing?
He does go to the pub a lot though, doesn't he? So
yeah. Can you imagine if somebody re-edited it so like every time like Ocean Master or Arthur speaks, it's like a pool of like yellow water just comes in front of him. I would say he trims his beard with his trident, but what do I know? It's a bit like the Superman one, isn't it? How does he have a shave? He just does.
Well, in one of the cartoons, didn't they do it? So we, or maybe I'll say animations, because some people don't like to say cartoon. Don't he use like his heat vision to? Yeah,
in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I thought it was probably... Yeah, there's also in the Byrne comics, he uses a piece of the ship and like bounces it off that, which is the same thing really, just bounces off a reflector.
Yeah.
So getting back to last week's questions, we had quite a few from Oracles from Superhero Hype as well. So I obviously wanted to save some for this week, so I'll dive straight into these. And he's actually asked about Aquaman, and he said the end of it. Why did the death and destruction in the finale of Aquaman not provoke the same response that Man of Steel did? Because a lot of people complained about the destruction in Man of Steel. And specifically the kiss with Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, because they kissed after the battle. Whereas in Aquaman, they kiss during the battle, which I think might actually be probably worse in a sense. But I have no issue with kissing in battle scenes and stuff. It's just part of Hollywood. In my opinion, what's your thoughts on that and the destruction aspects?
Well, firstly, I didn't have a problem with Man of Steel. It totally made sense to me. I don't get why people have a problem with it.
Well said.
You know, it's not like he's like, oh well, yeah, I'll just smash up these buildings for the sake of it. He's trying to save the earth, you know. Yeah,
exactly.
It's gonna happen. But sorry, the kiss. I didn't really know there was an issue with that. I don't get what you mean. People had an issue. Well,
basically, people had an issue in Man of Steel because after all the death and destruction and all the buildings are collapsed, Superman and Lois Lane kiss.
All right.
And in Aquaman, people didn't take as much of an issue with Arthur and Mera kissing as the battle's going on. People are getting killed all around them.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'd say is Superman is like, it's on Earth and there's almost that bit of realism there because he's in the middle of a city, and I think that's
what I was going to say.
The big thing is it's Aquaman's in bottom at sea and nobody believes it's real. Well, maybe there was a bit more believability in Superman. That's the way I see it anyway.
Yeah, I personally have no issue with either kiss. I think Hollywood movies have them, and I think they've always had them. And to be honest with you, I like a bit of cheese. So
it's an iconic thing, though, isn't it? If you go back to Gone with the Wind. The biggest moment of the movie that everybody knows is the kiss.
That's probably where it stemmed from, I think. These Hollywood movie kisses, it's probably stemmed from like how popular that film was.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they even used that footage. Is it in E.T.?
Sorry, I went on mute then, so I just coughed.
They used that footage in E.T., didn't they?
Not sure.
When he wants to kiss... in E.T. watching it or something, and he kisses that girl, that young lad.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
All right, okay, never mind.
It's not been as long as like you've watched it, but you know me, I've got more likes to. So.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. Right. So next question, he has asked. It's regarding Wonder Woman 84, and he's asked, "Is Steve Trevor really back, or is he an illusion?" So, what's your thoughts on that?
First, I'd like to say I think this guy asked some really good questions, so I hope he asks us some more.
I have a load more from him, so.
He's got. As soon as you said his name, I'm sure he asked some good questions last time we asked him. So yeah, so keep them coming. They're good. Sorry, can you just repeat that question?
Steve Trevor is back in Wonder Woman 84. Is he real, or is he an illusion?
Well, I guess we don't know. I don't think he's an illusion. I have my question marks over whether he's the real Steve Rogers.
Steve Trevor. Steve Rogers is Captain America.
I knew when I said it.
And then your geek cards has been ripped up.
Sorry,
we've just lost audience.
I did say before we came on air that
the 3 people really that listen have stopped listening.
So Steve, what? Trevor?
Steve Trevor, yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I'll get it right.
I know it's hard for you because it's 2 first names, but.
So, Steve, I do have my doubts whether I think he's either going to be, he is the real deal, or he's not the real deal.
Or he's not. All right, Dan.
No, wait, I haven't finished. Oh, he's not, and but it's not like, like, sorry,
you've lost it now, haven't
you? He's not, but he's like going to be bad, or there's going to be something, like he's. I don't mean clone, but he's not. I'm expecting him to be.
Do you want me to tell you my theories?
I'll start again. I think he's going to be bad, but I don't think it's going to be like Wonder Woman's going to fall back in love with him. I think it's going to be something not quite right. So yeah, I think when he's saying is he an illusion, maybe he's not just thinking illusion, but something that's. Brought back from the dead, and something doesn't quite fit. That's what I think.
See, you remember in Justice League when they're bringing Superman back and Wonder Woman's dead against it?
Yeah.
I think that might be because they brought Steve Trevor back and he lost his soul or something and he wasn't the same Steve Trevor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
So he comes back and he's not quite the same. I think maybe one of the gods brings him back. Or my other theory is much like Ares in Wonder Woman, in the first Wonder Woman, he's pretending to be someone he's not. So someone's disguising himself, kind of like what Loki would do, where he'd pretend to be someone. Well, he did pretend to be his dad, didn't he? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So next question, and I don't actually know if you know the Birds of Prey film they're making. It's actually going to be rated R, and he has asked, do you think it will be the darkest DCEU film, or is it simply to allow Deadpool style humor? Do you want me to answer first?
Yeah, you go first, Peter.
Because I think it's to add humour. I think it'll be dark as well, but I think it's for the humour aspects, and I think they want to push the boat out because it is Harley Quinn. So I don't think it's going to be dark to the point where it's sinister. It's probably going to be quite humorous.
Well, I was expecting it to kind of follow from how Suicide Squad was.
Yeah.
There's quite amusing parts in that, so I'd expect it to be along those lines. The only thing I can say is if they're going to sort of go down the road of Aquaman being more family oriented, are they wanting to keep Harley Quinn completely out of this side of it, or?
I think that might be the plan.
Yeah.
Because the plan is to do this is the rumoured plan. The plan is they're going to do Birds of Prey, and then Batgirl, and then they're going to do the Gotham City Sirens versus the Birds of Prey.
Right.
And I think I read a third movie, but I can't actually remember what that was now. Because it's actually been rumoured that Harley Quinn's probably not going to be in Suicide Squad 2, which might be a mistake, but then again it gives other characters chances, like maybe you could see like Bane or some other Batman world characters in that.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Move on then?
Yeah.
Should Shazam use the name Captain Marvel?
I think like you said to me before about having a joke in there somewhere, and I agree with that. Yeah. Just sort of have a little bit of a dig about it.
there'll be a joke, won't there, like something like, how about Captain Marvel? And it'll be like, oh, that's taken, or something like, oh no, we don't want to get sued. something like
that. Yeah. I think it's got to be in there somewhere for me.
It's called Shazam in the comics now, so just go with Shazam. And to be honest with you, I don't think his name's important as long as the character's done right.
Yeah.
Call him Pete if you want. He's asked, do you think we will ever see Ray Fisher's Cyborg again?
Well, funny enough, I read something. Obviously, we're doing Titans tonight, so I've been doing some research. And I have seen that Cyborg, funny enough, is going to be in another TV series.
Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think it'd be a damn shame not to see Ray Fisher cyborging, because I think, although like the CGI wasn't the best, I think he was really good in it, in the role.
yeah. I was going to say the question mark is, do they want to keep doing TV version of the characters and movie version of the characters? And I think the answer to that is probably yes.
Well, they're not with Superman.
Flash. Yeah, they've done it with Flash. So
yeah, Flash as well. Yeah,
they're obviously not too fussed about that, and
no.
Hopefully, if Aquaman sets the ball rolling, then it's going to work for him.
Next one, who should the villains in the Flash film be?
Well, I always like Reverse Flash. So for me, because I want to see Flashpoint, really.
I think you can't do Flashpoint straight away, though.
No, probably not, but I would like to see that. I think it's a great story.
I think it is too, but I don't think the timing's right for it. And to be honest with you, wasn't trying to move away from that dark aspect.
Yeah.
I think maybe they might not do it.
Yeah.
Which it would be cool to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Flashpoint Batman. I'd love to see that.
You know, is Zoom from the TV series, is he a normal bad guy? I don't really know that, if he is.
He's not in the... Right. The Reverse Flash is called, in the comics, Professor Zoom. So...
yeah.
Usually. And I think there's another version called Hunter Zolomon, so they kind of made Reverse Flash into just Eobard Thawne, and then Hunter Zolomon became this character Zoom that they made for this show.
Yeah.
So my answer is I want to see the rogues, like Captain Cold, what's his name?
Yeah, Captain
Mixed
Cold.
character. Captain Cold, I can't remember what the fire one's called now, what come to me.
Yeah.
What Mick plays? Heatwave, is it? Heatwave?
Not sure.
I think it's Heatwave anyway, and I think the other one's Weather Wizard, and I'd like to see the Rogues because I don't think we've seen them. The show sort of did away with them really quickly. They were kind of on it and then not on it. So I'd like to see the Rogues. I would like to see Reverse Flash as well, but what I'd probably do is have him have a little cameo in the first film and then set him up for the sequel.
Just going to stop you there, bro. Can you just repeat that because you went a bit funny?
Reverse Flash. I'd probably have him cameo in the first film and then set him up for the sequel, because I kind of think like he's a bigger villain.
Yeah.
So you kind of build towards him, and I think as well because he's on the TV show this season again, and I think maybe they might not want to. Well, then again, I don't know. The film's probably going to be a few years off yet anyway, but you might want to leave some distance, because people might think, well, I can just go watch that for free, Reverse Flash, and go watch the Flash season 1 or something.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
So there is that. So, and the last question is, if a genie gave you the chance to have Warner Brothers make any DC film you wanted, what would it be? You can choose any DC character, any director, and any actors you want. Ooh. Shall I just go first? Because you know what my answer is.
Might need another podcast for that one.
Well, I would have Superman, obviously, because I want to see a proper Superman film where he's at the Daily Planet reporting, investigating the Lois Lane. I want to see him take on Metallo and the Parasite with Lex Luthor pulling the strings, and I want Henry Cavill back as Superman, I'll be honest with you. Lex Luthor, I would actually cast Vince Vaughn. I would recast Jesse Eisenberg as Vince Vaughn, because I actually think Vince Vaughn could do it really well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Heath Ledger was going to be good as the Joker, so I'm not going to say
well, I think the best Lex Luthor was Michael Rosenbaum on Smallville, and he's a comedic actor, and I think comedians can turn sinister on quite easily.
Yeah.
And then there's an actor called Rob Kaczynski who's in Pacific Rim. I'd cast him as Metallo. I actually have no idea for Parasite, because that could be like a brand new casting maybe, and I'd bring Amy Adams back as Lois Lane as well. Yeah. So, and if I could pick any director I wanted, I'd pick J.J. Abrams, but I know he's probably not going to be available to do it. So probably maybe someone like Stephen S. Knight, who did Pacific Rim 2, or maybe Matthew Vaughn would probably be another dream choice. But I think he's like busy on Kingsman movies, so
yeah,
don't see that happening anytime soon. Have you got an answer for this one then?
Struggling a bit actually. I would go back to my previous answer and probably say Flashpoint for me.
Okay.
I don't.
Any ideas on who to direct it?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe the guy who did Aquaman. I've totally forgot his name.
James Wan. Well, do you know what I
James
actually
Wan.
think? I'm
Just
gonna
because
say
I really liked Aquaman.
I don't like The Last Jedi, but I kind of think Rian Johnson might suit a Flashpoint movie because of he used to like doing a dark take, didn't he?
Yeah,
On Star
possibly.
Wars. So
Could be a good
I
one,
think there's a lot of characters I want to see. Like I'd love to see like a film about The Question. It was like a really mysterious superhero and stuff like that. You know, something a bit different. And you think about it, you could make that film for a pittance, couldn't you? Really?
Yeah, I think before sort of Batman vs Superman, I would have said, what's it called? The we got the animation of the Batman ones. I always want to call it the Dark Knight, but that's not what it's called, is it?
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I probably would have seen that. Maybe if they did that as a proper film rather than sort of incorporate elements like they did in Batman vs Superman.
If they did that straight up adaptation, do you know I get to do it?
Go on.
Zack Snyder. Because who is more perfect than him? He did 300, and it was like the comic. He did Watchmen, and it was like the comic.
Yeah, you might be right about that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I don't.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No, he's not going to come back. Well, to be honest with you, I look back and I think maybe they should have just let him do Dark Knight Returns, because then Henry Cavill could have had his own like Superman trilogy or something, which would have been perfect for me. But obviously, I'm not the guy in charge up there at WB, so. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about Reign of the Superman because I got the chance to go see it at the cinema last week when I saw a double bill of the Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything here because obviously you haven't seen it, and I think maybe we could cover those films later when you do, because you've not seen Death of Superman either, have you?
No, I wanted to wait till they were both out.
So I think it'd be cool to cover those at a later period, but I will say that while Reign of the Superman wasn't as good as The Death of Superman, it was a very satisfactory conclusion to that storyline, and I would honestly put Death of Superman and Reign of Superman as the best version of that story I've seen, and I'm including the comics, I'm including BVS, I'm including animation. I think that is the best version of the story I've seen of the Death and Return of Superman.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it's I haven't read that many graphic novels, but I read that one. It was one of my favourites, to be honest.
Well, there was three, wasn't there? There was the Death of Superman, The World Without Superman, and then The Return of Superman, which was a massive chunky.
So did they kind of incorporate that into the last two into the second one?
Well, you didn't see a lot of The World Without Superman, but I think people have complained about that. But for me, you can't really do it in animation because people are going to get bored. So you saw little elements of it, and then you had to obviously get the new Superman in quite quickly as well.
Yeah.
So things probably do feel a little bit rushed, but at the same time, I think knowing the story as I do, maybe I'll just fill in some of the blanks myself.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it was a very nicely tight-knit story. Like, they managed to do it in two movies perfectly, and it makes me wish they'd just done the live-action film and done two films of that storyline. But it's easy to say after the fact, isn't it? I mean, when you're doing things, you don't always know like what, you know what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Right then, shall we move on to the Titans?
Yep, let's get to the review.
So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, well, I've been waiting for a comic book show to be really dark, be quite violent, and be quite serious, and I've got it now. I've got it. If I'm honest, this is what, and I know they couldn't do this on TV with the CW show, but this is kind of what I wanted Arrow to be, and I knew it was never going to be this violent and this serious, but I think that's why I kind of a little bit went off Arrow. I felt like I couldn't get that time slot right where I felt it sat. I felt it was too dark to watch it too early, but not dark enough and not serious enough to watch it late, where this is exactly what I wanted to watch. You know, it's not one for kids, obviously. I quite like violence, as long as it's, when I say I like violence that's not realistic violence, because obviously why would you kind of like that? You know what I mean? It's not, you can watch it and
what you mean.
You know, it can still make you, a bit squeamish, but
it's like, for me, the difference between like cheesy 80s Halloween movies and Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, where it's a bit too graphic, and it's almost like
it's not true to real life, is it? I think that's what I'm getting at.
No,
it's not like that's not what you would actually see happen.
I don't find violent. I can find violence entertaining if it's done in a certain way, but I can't find violence entertaining that's realistic. That's
yeah. Well, this is kind of over the top without being too over the top, but it's over the top in terms of not realistic. If that makes sense. So
cool.
So yeah, I'll be honest. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, great. Well, I had no clue what Dan thought previously. By the way, we always had to keep our opinions to ourselves, or unless it's something I saw ages ago.
Yeah.
Then you obviously know my opinion, but so is that just your overall thoughts? Then have you got anything?
Yeah, because now we're gonna go into maybe each episode a little bit later, so I don't really want to kill it too much. Oh, the other thing I did want to say is, just in case I forget, because I didn't write it down, how good was the synthy music?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things, because as I was doing my research and going back through the episodes, flicking through to try and write down talking points for you to so you had something to go through. And I was like, as you're looking, I'm like, is this show as good as I remember it being? And I watched a bit, and I was like, there were that music and there were the action scenes, and I was like, oh yeah, now I remember why I really liked it.
Yeah. So shall I go?
Yeah, you go for it.
Like you, I absolutely loved it. I think it's that perfect balance of darkness and it's like it's the way I feel. It's like basically it's serious enough that I still don't think it's too serious, if that makes sense. I know that sounds stupid because it is very serious, but I don't feel like it. Basically, I don't feel like it doesn't try and be serious and realistic. It tries to be serious, but still tries to embrace the comic book side of things.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's what. Yeah. And like you, the music's great. I mean, the opening theme for me is just I love it. Every time it kicks in, it gets me excited.
Yeah, it's quite short as well, isn't it? The Titans sort of intro. She'll obviously get you a little bit of story or flashback or whatever. Then get you.
Yeah.
I kind of like that as well.
While I agree with you, I think this is better than the CW shows, but I think it's got a better platform to be better than the CW shows.
Yeah, they ain't got the restriction, have they? Of what
that's what. Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm trying to get at restriction. I think probably budget-wise, they're probably not too dissimilar in terms of effects and stuff. I think they're probably on par. Well, I think it's cost an episode of this probably costs what an episode of a CW show costs.
Is that right? Because the only thing I would have said is it was meant to be 12 episodes, but we can go into that later. So you've got 11 episodes. So I would have thought that maybe had a bigger budget slightly, but then again,
from what I've heard, they didn't.
Well, saying that though, there's not probably as much CGI in this as what's the Flash.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, like you, I think it is a fantastic show, and I think it's the best version of Robin I've ever seen in live action.
Definitely.
And I think they got the cast absolutely spot on for everyone.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I did read a review that said this is the Batman you've always wanted, except it was Robin.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if you meant that as a negative, but I didn't take it as a negative when I read the review.
Well, I'll tell you something. That when I was a kid, I loved Robin, and then when I was a teenager, I kind of resented Robin, and now I love Robin again. And it's not just because of this show. I mean, I felt like that anyway. But I kind of now I'm older and I've read more Batman stories. I understand why Batman needs Robin because he kind of grounds him and brings him back. He stops him from going over the edge, doesn't he, to darkness?
Yeah,
in my opinion, anyway. So, but again, if you don't think Robin is cool, watch this show, and I think you'll change your mind completely. Sorry,
I will just tell you on the notes. I think I've written it's Jason Todd, the other Robin, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the second Robin. Yeah.
When I wrote Tim, I meant to put Jason.
Yeah, Tim Drake is the third Robin.
Right.
And then you've got.
I did tell my wife that, and I've got confused when I wrote the notes, but I was.
Yeah, Jason Todd. Let's just say that I think he's going to meet the wrong side of a crowbar at some point, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be.
So that's non-spoiler thoughts. Shall we get into the episodes?
Yeah.
Do you want to read the first episode synopsis and title?
Well, yeah, the first episode's called Titans, and it's Dick Grayson beginning life in Detroit, and a girl named Rachel finds him, or finds a way to him, should I say.
Yep.
And also a woman called Koriand'r, who we all know, I guess, is Firestorm. She wakes up without any recollection of her identity. And that's
Hang on, she's not Firestorm, is she?
Is
Isn't Firestorm? No, she's not Firestorm. She's is it Starfire she's called?
Starfire. Oh my god. More form tonight, aren't there? Who's Firestorm?
Firestorm's the guy who the professor in Flash who...
Oh, that's it, yeah.
And that geek card, it's not just been ripped up, it's been put in the bin. So it's way to the tip now.
I told you I was tired, did I? Yeah, sorry, Starburst.
So, anyway, I think I'll do the next synopsis now.
So do you want me to do first talking points then?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So obviously this is first time you're introduced to Rachel, and you also see her alter ego quite quickly.
Yep.
So what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Well, I knew all about her because of I know about the character Raven from the comics, so it wasn't like a surprise to me or anything, but it was a little bit freaky, I'll admit.
Yeah, I think I don't know Raven that well. I actually will say that I thought this Titans was going to be basically the same characters that are in
Young Justice.
Teen Titans Go.
Oh, right.
That was my original thoughts till it went on. I was like, oh.
Well, she's in Teen Titans Go as Raven.
Yeah, that's where I know her from, but I know her very well.
Oh, right, sorry.
Go watch the show. I went to see the movie, which that was great. It was really fun. But I've never actually seen the cartoon, so I've just seen my son watching it. So one of my favourite bits of this was obviously the Robin fight scene. Very violent, and my favourite bit of that fight scene had to be the bit where he scrapes his face across the broken glass in the window of the car. And I was also a bit squeamish at the same time. It was pretty intense. So what are you feeling after you first saw that fight scene?
Well, I'd already seen it in the trailer a bit, but I absolutely loved it. And I just at that moment I was like, Robin's cool as hell. He's cool as F.
Yeah, well, this is the bit in it where he says F Batman.
Yeah.
At the end of it. When I first saw that, I didn't really like that, and I was one of the people that weren't too keen on it. But then when you see it in the show and in the context of what's happening, it makes total sense and works absolutely perfectly.
I was absolutely fine with it because I've read Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, and he's not very polite about Batman in that. Let's just say.
That's good. So you're also introduced to Corey. She doesn't know who she is. I think quite early on into it, she meets some, I think they're the gangsters, and she kind of burns them alive.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused myself, obviously, which is you're supposed to be. I didn't really get what was going on, but I liked that because...
you kind of feel as confused as her, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've read comics with Starfire in, but I don't actually know a lot about her. I just know I think she's royalty from an alien planet or something. I think that's pretty much all I know.
What are your thoughts on the actress? Were you quite impressed?
I think she is the best actor on the show.
Yeah, I think she's superb.
She's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah, she's the best actor on the show. 100%. So, and I like how they kind of use like the disco music when she's around. Because I love that kind of music, that era of music. Yeah, that was.
She's got her own theme, hasn't she?
Yeah. It's quite good.
So it was Anna Diop that played it. I mean, other than obviously, I know you know.
Gorgeous.
I know you know Alan Richardson is, but other than that, did you actually know any of the actors in this show?
I know Minka Kelly, who plays Dove. I know Alan Richardson from Smallville and obviously Blue Mountain State. But other than that, no. I think I knew some. As the series goes on, I recognise some of the actors.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably mention when we get to those.
I think they definitely got a good bunch of.
I didn't know
people.
I didn't know Brenton Thwaites was, who plays Robin, but she's an Australian actor. I didn't know Tegan Croft was, who plays Rachel, and she's Australian as well, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll just say Dick Grayson's American accent is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
It was had a bit of a New York vibe to it to me.
Yeah.
I really liked that. Yeah.
So the kind of towards the end of the show, I mean, Rachel's obviously been kidnapped by the guy who kills not a real mother, but I guess a foster mother. We'll call her. He takes her back, and she's sat in the chair, isn't she? And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, Robin's gonna save her because he kind of he's coming towards her, isn't he? And then she sort of her powers come out, and she does the damage. And at the very end, we finally got a quick introduction to Beast Boy, didn't we? Just into that bit where he's in the store.
I really like it. It's very quick, but I kind of think it was a nice tag. It didn't feel forced.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets up that you're like, oh, what? It was this guy, and is he a tiger?
He is, yeah, he's a tiger. So you can imagine if you're a security guard and you see that, you're going to be as confused as that guy was and as scared as that guy was.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking, why is there a tiger and why is it green?
Yeah, I think they did that really well on the show. They just tease you with the character, and you're like, oh my god, it's so and so.
The actor who plays him is a guy called Ryan Potter, and he was in Big Hero 6.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did that. He does. Now,
I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you something funny about him now. He did an audition video for Ben Affleck for the Batman, saying, "Do you need a Robin?" And he sort of did a audition tape for Tim Drake. Not obviously knowing if Tim Drake's even planning to be in that film, but
yeah.
And this was when Ben Affleck was going to direct it. So he did a little fight scene video.
He plays Hero in Big Hero 6, which is the main character. Yeah.
But he's so I didn't know if you knew that. So
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wanted to mention it. Yeah.
No worries. So do you want to move on to episode 2?
Yep. Shall I give the synopsis for this?
Yeah, you can do.
Dick meets up with Hawk and Dove, a pair of vigilantes, in an effort to protect Rachel. So, do you want to do the talking points because you've written these down, haven't you? So
yeah. So this is kind of your first introduction to Hawk and Dove. I wasn't actually expecting these to be in it. Also, I was quite surprised. And when it starts, the episode, Hawk's getting tortured, isn't he, by that guy?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is a bit, and then he gets the snippers out, and he tells him to pull his pants down, and he's doing that. I don't need to go that far. That was making me laugh. But I was like, please, somebody save him. And obviously, then Dove comes in. I will say, can I just check with you, right? Because I'm not 100% sure, right? She's called Dawn.
Yeah.
The character. That's a real name. Does she say Dawn throughout the series, or is she saying Dawn?
Dawn, I think that's her name.
I kept thinking she said Dawn, and
might just be her accent.
When I wrote this synopsis down, I took this from.
She's definitely called Dawn because she's called Dawn in the comics.
No, but I didn't know if she was saying Dawn because it's shorter or something. Because I wrote the synopsis down from
like a nickname, maybe.
Because when I wrote the synopsis down, somewhere along the synopsis, I can't find it now, but somebody wrote Dawn. And he's on about Dawn, and I'm like, oh, did she say Dawn, or does somebody else
think
she
did then? Dawn? If she did, I was corrected.
So that's interesting. We'll have to, if anybody knows that, then let us know.
Yeah.
So there's a flashback scene in this as well where Robin fights alongside Dove and Hawk. I thought that was quite interesting. It's quite good to build that sort of history up between them. Yeah,
without going into too much.
Yeah, and obviously this is the episode as well where you get first introduced to the, I call them the strange family, they're called the Nuclear Family.
Nuclear Family, yeah, I know them very well. They're usually robots in the comics.
I
think these are like...
they've been driven insane, aren't they, sort of to make them do what they want them to do.
Yeah, I think they're like engineered humans.
Yeah, they were pretty freaky, but now you're saying the robots in the comic, that kind of makes sense to how they were acting because they were very sort of robotic in the ways.
Yeah, but I don't think they are robots.
So what were your kind of thoughts on them? Did you?
The Nuclear Family.
Yeah.
I loved them. I thought they were great. They were very much just straight out of the comics for me. So I mean, they were a bit freaky.
They were kind of funny as well, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going back as well, because I didn't actually get to say what I thought of Hawk and Dove, but I think the costumes were absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And they look just like the comic books.
Yeah, well, I did wonder that because I don't know these characters you see, but yeah, I think specifically Dove's because she's got like sort of that feathered thing going on. I thought that looks great. So also there's Robin's detective partner in this, which we haven't mentioned yet, and she actually bites the dust in this episode. And
I was shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, I wasn't expecting her to go.
I was convinced she was going to have an arc throughout the entire story, and she was going to end up finding out he was Robin, and then she got killed. In fact, I think her character name, I think she's in the comments, you know, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't read as much as you do.
No, I think I've heard this secondhand. I haven't read a lot of Teen Titans or a lot of Robin stories, to be honest. I've only read the ones I've read, so.
Yeah. So coming towards the back end of the episode, he's obviously taking Rachel to Dove and Hawk to try and protect her, and he's going to leave her there. But then the nuclear family come, and they're fighting on the rooftop, and Dove gets straight thrown off the roof.
Yeah, so I was shocked by that.
Yeah, I was. Yes, I was sort of like, oh my god, have they just killed her off?
I thought she was dead.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was going to say. I totally thought she was dead. And obviously Rachel then is captured by I put strange family, but I mean the nuclear family.
Yeah.
So again, I think this was really good because it left you kind of on another cliffhanger. So it always keeps you wanting to watch the next episode and watch the next episode. Yeah,
it sets it up, doesn't it? Can I just say as well, Minka Kelly is one of Adam Bassiano's multiverse wives. Sure, I'll appreciate that one.
Might want to explain to his viewers what that means.
Yeah, so my mate Adam, who does a podcast, Tales from the DC Multiverse, he anytime he is attracted, let's say, to a character in DC lore, or well, not even just DC lore. I mean, there's other geek lore. He names them as one of his multiverse wives because the multiple Earths that DC has. There's like the 52 Earths and all that sort of thing. So on another universe, Adam is married to Minka Kelly. There you go.
It's sort of his compliment to a woman.
Yeah. So, it's funny.
So, do we want to go through episode 3?
Origins? Do you want to do it, or shall I?
You do it. Yeah.
Corey tracks down Rachel and watches the nuclear family abduct her. After Rachel's dark self manifests again, Dick and Corey take her back to the convent, where the sisters secretly lock her in the basement. Corey discovers that before her memory loss, she was researching various doomsday prophecies concerning the advent of the apocalyptic raven. Rachel's dark self taunts her and then manifests, leading to an explosion that allows Rachel to flee. You still there?
Yeah, something's going on there. Sorry, I just could hear this noise. So I was like,
it's washing machine.
So do you want to go through the talking points on this one?
Yeah, so one of the talking points for Corey is trying to track down Rachel, goes to her house.
Yeah.
I don't remember that scene.
I'm trying to think now. I remember it being in the dark, but I can't remember what actually happens there. But we'll just move on to the next one. I can't remember.
Corey finds Rachel at the petrol station, takes out the dad of the Strange family. She absolutely don't take him out. She absolutely burns him.
Strikes him, doesn't it? But yeah, at this point, I was kind of thinking it's a bit kind of early to kill. He's off in it, and then she don't really kill the rest, does she? She sort of just grabs Rachel, and she's like, "Do you know me?" At first, isn't she? Because she's trying to figure out who she is, and how did she find the link to Rachel? Has she got a photograph of her, hasn't she?
Yeah, but I don't know if there's some sort of psychic connection as well, like she can sense her or something, because she seems to know where she is.
Yeah. So do you want to move on to next?
We see Dawn is recovering in the hospital.
Yeah, obviously this is the point where we realise that she's definitely not dead, which was good to see.
Yeah, and I should have probably mentioned Hawk has a big problem with Dick, and I think it's because something happened with Dick and Dove.
I think I mentioned that somewhere. It's in an episode. There's a bit of
but it's hinted at in episode 2 as well.
Yeah, you're right. She looks at him, doesn't she, when they're having that?
Yeah, and Rachel sort of sees a flash of something, doesn't she? So, no, something's.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she cheated on Hank with.
It sounds that must be to me because it's like, well, unless they met before, but I don't think they would have done.
No, it can't have been before. The only thing I can think of is maybe if Hank wasn't actually in a relationship with her or something, and their relationship's developed since. I don't know. Anyway,
it's quite obvious that tension's there between. Between Hawk and.
Well, we'll get to something in the last episode about that anyway, won't we? So.
Yeah. So.
We see Dick Grayson moving to Wayne Manor after steals a Porsche. Oh, that's when he's a kid, isn't it?
I don't know what I wrote that. Alta steals a Porsche. I don't think I wrote that right. But yeah,
you've also put "We See You, Dick Grayson." So basically, we see a young Dick Grayson moving into Wayne Manor. It's obviously a flashback. And is this where you sort of see Bruce but in shadow or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were very clever throughout that, doing that.
Kind of reminded me of Batman Forever a little bit in a sense, because
I'd agree. Yeah.
Yeah. But I suppose Batman Forever took it from the comics, didn't it? So
yeah.
And at the end, we meet the guy in charge of the nuclear family, who's very weird and likes cooking eggs.
Yeah. Is that what? Is this the episode where he's cooking that egg, or is that with the dead?
I think every time you see him, no, that's the later one. That's disgusting. That anyway.
Yeah.
With the fetus. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
So, should we move on to Doom Patrol?
Yeah, we can. I'll tell you what I'll do this time. I'll go through all the talking points, then you can pick out which ones you want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you do the synopsis first.
So this is the one where Dick puts Gar, Corey, and Rachel through boot camp to prepare for the nuclear family's next strike.
Yep.
So some of the talking points I pick out from this episode, we see some background on Gar and how he got his powers.
Dan, you're having a mare tonight, man.
I know, I'm telling you, don't I? We're introduced to the Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Dick and Corey try and track down Rachel.
Mm.
Rachel gets to let I put the doctor, so I couldn't remember what his name was.
I think they do call him the doctor, don't they?
I thought it would call like the chief or something like that.
Oh, you think it is the chief? Yeah, I think it is the chief.
So she agrees to let him help her, doesn't she? But there's a bit where she sort of realizes that, wait a minute, I don't really want this now, and he won't let her go.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, he's been recasting the Doom Patrol series as Timothy Dalton.
Oh, really?
I have no idea why. I don't know if the actor wasn't available or if they didn't like him or what. I don't know.
Don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she
don't want him to do it in the end, and despite Gar standing up to him, he didn't shoot him with a dart or something and knocked him out.
Yeah.
And that sort of releases that sort of scarediness in it, doesn't it? And
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think what he is I think he thinks he's right and he wants to help, and I think he thinks she's not going to let him help, but he's going to help her anyway, type thing.
Yeah. Well, he gets his comeuppance anyway, don't he?
Well, I will say Gar is probably he's not my favourite, but he's one of my favourite characters in the show. I
would totally agree. I think he's got that humour that you need in a series like this. You need some lighter tone there, and he provides that.
Interestingly, too, with this Doom Patrol, some of the actors that played the parts actually got recast for the series, and Brendan Fraser, for example, redubbed. I can't remember his name now. Oh, what's his name? One with the metal face.
Oh, I can't remember either. Doom Patrol.
Cliff Steele. Yeah. He dubbed him, and they added that scene where you see his pictures and you can see it's Brendan Fraser then.
See.
And
he is called the Chief as well.
Matt Bomer is Larry Trainer, who the guy in the bandages, and he's clearly not the guy in the suit because Matt Bomer's like ripped and slim, and that guy wasn't slim.
I liked him though. He's great cooking. I remember.
Yeah.
I was like, can I try about that?
Yeah. And then obviously you meet Elastigirl, which is played by April Balby, who you might know from 2.5 Men. Who played Candy in 2.5 Men, and she was a bit stupid and all that. Yeah. She's really attractive.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah, but the Doom Patrol have always been a bit weird. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
They're a very odd set of characters. So, I mean, I personally, this episode, I felt like it was just to set up a Doom Patrol rather than really moving the plot on.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of episodes because that's one thing I wanted to talk about. There's a couple of episodes where I felt it wasn't moving the story on, but I think that they were so strong where I think some of the CW shows, you get them sort of side ones.
Yeah.
They could have just tossed this aside, but I felt...
The Flash did one this week, and it was just like, what point on that?
Yeah.
I think Grant Gustin had a week off because he was barely in it as well.
And I think...
that is the one... And I think in this show, the performances are always good. The acting performances. So, while this wasn't one of my favourite episodes, I still thought it was very solid.
Yeah, well, I think there's another episode coming up later, which I actually think is probably the second best episode of the entire show. And when I watched it, I thought it was the best, but then
You think this one is?
No, the one that's coming up later. What I'm saying is how strong.
I know which one you're on about.
The sort of episodes that don't necessarily. It's not like they don't belong to the story because there's always that bit of story in there that leads into other stuff, but they're almost like them. I won't want to say filler episode because it's not a filler episode, but that's kind of what I mean. Those episodes that don't just not about the main story, they're about something else. You get character development storylines. These really.
But you can have filler episodes and it's still good because I remember one in the Flash where the Reverse Flash came back in season 2 and it was a filler episode, but it was brilliant because it embraced the comics and it was still entertaining. And I feel like the episode that we're probably going to say is the best in this, I think that is probably, would you probably class as a filler episode?
What's that again, sorry?
The episode we're going to talk about later, which I think is the best, which I think if you're on about the same one I'm on about, I think that one is a bit of a filler episode as well, but it's a good filler episode.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. They're so solid. The show's so solid that it's...
Yeah.
Although you would probably say it kind of is a filler episode, it don't feel like it because it's so good.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So should we move on to Together?
Yeah, do you want me to read this one?
Yeah, but I'm not convinced this synopsis is entirely accurate, to be honest. It's a bit vague. But you can read it anyway.
Well, I will say I got these off Rotten Tomatoes, right? And the third episode, the reason that's so long is because let's take that off of Wikipedia, because the synopsis for the third episode turned out to be the synopsis for the first episode. It was just different.
Right.
So the synopsis is when the nuclear family tracks them down, Dick, Corey, and Rachel and Gar decide to stop running and work together, and the team that will be known as the Titans is formed. So this is the episode really where they're laying low at the motel, you know. And
yeah.
This is the episode.
Actually, yeah, it is. You know what? Yeah. Actually, reading that synopsis again, I think it actually does make sense.
Yeah.
Because you have that scene where they're training, don't you?
I wanted to get something that was short, so we weren't boring the listeners by reading it off. But yeah, so they're laying low at a motel. They show each other the powers, which is a really funny bit in this, if you remember. The bit with they all show the powers and then they turn to... Dick. No, they just all turn to Dick and they're like, right, what do you do? And it's like, I'll keep you alive.
Yeah, I'll keep you alive, yeah.
And it's like, they're all like, all right, so what does he do?
That sets up a brilliant moment later, doesn't it?
It does, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through these. We see Dr. Adamson, who's the guy who's pretty much in charge. Yeah, he's pretty much in charge of the nuclear family. He's at the asylum watching a patient being tortured who, funny enough, becomes the new dad of the nuclear family. Corey and Dick get close, and I wrote, yeah, baby, yeah, next to this. I wasn't actually expecting that, I will say. I
think some people
I didn't expect the characters. Yeah, maybe so. But
I didn't think it was, but
it is what it is. The nuclear family track down the Titans. Dick reveals he's Robin to the rest of the Titans, which this is the moment you're talking about, isn't it? This is where he comes out and he's like, oh my god, it's Robin. They can't
believe it, can they? Yeah.
And Gar's obviously geeking out, isn't he? Because he's like, oh, it's Robin.
It is completely like the best Robin moment of all time, isn't it? It's like, yeah.
And
you know they're in trouble at that moment, don't you? The nuclear family.
Yeah, I think that's what's good about this show. You've already had Robin's moment as Robin coming out and kicking butt. But he gets another moment here that's equally as entertaining because sort of like we've seen it before, but they haven't seen it before. So it's sort of like you're seeing what you did possibly. Do you know what I mean? When you watch the first one, that's kind of what the reaction they're getting. So they basically, as obvious, they defeat the nuclear family, and Dr. Ellison triggers the head explosions of them. But at this point, Dick's already gone, so he didn't know this, but he's done.
And Corey's like, he's going to blame me.
Yeah. And then Robin and the Dr. Ellison, I just call him head of the nuclear family because I kept writing that earlier. So Dick and Dr. Adamson get attacked. I think Dr. Adamson's trying to warn him though, and he says we're going to get killed. You've got 10 seconds. We need to get out of it.
Yeah.
But he's very calm, isn't he? And that's what makes him so cold. There's like no emotion there, is there? And then obviously they're saved by Robin, where I've wrote Tim Drake, and it is in fact Jason Todd.
Yes, it is Jason Todd, yeah. And he's like, I'm the new Robin.
Yeah. I'd say one thing as well with Robin. Obviously, he was in the next episode more, so this is where this is coming from. But they got him perfect because he is brash and he's a bit gung-ho and a bit jumping.
Jason Todd definitely is, yeah.
And I think that absolutely nails that version of Robin. Absolutely nails it. So is there anything else in the episode that you want to talk about?
No, the bit I wanted to talk about was that Robin bit, because I think he's probably my favourite moment of the entire series, to be honest. It's just like, you literally just think, oh my god, they're screwed.
Yeah, definitely. I always think that bit reminded me of like when you get your first Superman moment in a movie, and you're like, oh, here we go. Reminded me of that.
Or even Batman, when Batman arrives.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the first fight scene, how funny is that when they're all looking around for Batman?
Yeah.
They're not worried about Robin, they're all looking for Batman. After it, they're like, they know why they should have been worried.
And that's why he says F Batman, doesn't he? Because he's like, I don't need him, basically.
Yeah.
So shall we move on to the next episode?
Yeah.
So Jason Todd, shall I go read it out?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Dick and Jason Todd, the new Robin, hunt down the man who murdered Dick's circus friends. So it's got a lot of flashbacks in this one.
Sorry, I put a random ob in the word.
That's what threw me. Now, this, I think, is the best episode of Titans.
Oh, really?
Bar none, yeah. Is that one you thought was the best episode?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't even think this isn't even my second favourite episode of the series.
You're the only person probably on the planet who don't think this is the best episode. Because everyone on the internet was raving after this one. So I'll read through the talking points. Robin is a young boy. This is Dick Grayson. At his parents' funeral, we are introduced to Clayton. Now, Clayton, I know from My Wife and Kids. He had a big part in that, and he was hilarious in that. Yeah. Dick and Tim take the head of the nuclear family to safe house. Have a bit of a catch. Oh, that's Dr. Adamson, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. I'll try to cut all of bits out, but I've not done it.
Yeah. Dick cuts a tracking device out of his arm. Tim gives Dick pictures of circus victims. Rest of the Titans arrive at the safe house. Robin heads out to stop Clayton from being captured. Maroney's son captures Clayton. We see flashback of Robin leaving Maroney for dead. Dick tries to rescue Clayton and Tim comes to help. And Tim beats up a lot of cops and has a lot of fun doing it. So and that is why I want him to beat the end of a crowbar at some point.
Yeah, he's quite... he just likes fighting. He's a bit...
Well, he's like, lights out, bitch. When he knocks that one cop that's going to break his back in it.
Yeah.
But rewinding back in the episode, have you ever watched Batman the Animated Series Robin's Reckoning, where Tony Zuko escapes?
I have, but I can't remember it, because I do remember thinking that is the episode where you really like Robin.
I've just realised, I think you've put flashback of Robin leaving Maroney for dead, but it's actually Tony Zuko.
Oh, sorry, I have.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? It is.
And you've also said Maroney. You've messed up on his nose, bro.
It's
not Maroney's son. It's
Maroney's gang in it.
Yeah,
it's Maroney's gang, and he's going to shop him in. The flashback of Robin, that was a brilliant part, I thought.
And you saw the Batcave, and you saw the car.
Yeah.
And
you just think he's doing that moment like we talked about with Aquaman, isn't it? He didn't kill him, but he knows he's going to get killed if he leaves him.
Yeah. And it's quite a personal story for Dick, this one, isn't it? And I think I can
see why people thought this is their favourite episode.
But again, I think this is another one. I think it is kind of filler. It's character development for Dick. Yeah, it's not furthering the plot along anymore, is it? It's like a little breakaway.
That's what I was saying. Why I didn't want to call it filler, because it's not really filler, because it's character development, and that isn't filler. Although I think some people might call it that, but I wouldn't call it that. It's just character development.
I think the scene where Dick goes after Tony Zuko in the police thing is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. That's the best scene.
I would love to see a Batman and Robin TV show done in this style.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Really good. I really liked Clayton in it as well. I think
I realised again, I must have said Tim. You said Tim all over this, not Jason.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Jason's in the synopsis. I know, I should have proof checked her.
I thought I couldn't get it to you early enough, could I? But...
I think that scene where Jason beats the cops up, it's like badass, but it's also like you think, what a little...
when you post it on Twitter, you'll have to put that we quote a lot of things wrong, but correct us.
When Jason's taking out all the cops, I think that is such a brutal scene.
Yeah, the action in that is superb.
Yeah,
as well. But I think he was throughout the entire show.
You can kind of see why what happens to him because he's very much he's reckless, isn't he? And he enjoys hurting people, basically.
Yeah, that's what I mean about him. He's brash and he's cocky, and you can see why things are going to happen to him because he jumps in feet first.
And I think this is the last time actually apart from the next episode I'll explain when we get to it. This is the last time he really suits up as Robin, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Because it sort of does in the next one, but it's like it's not really happening.
Yeah.
So, do you want to anything else you want to say? Do you want to move on to Asylum?
No, we'll move on to Asylum. So, the synopsis for this is: the Titans set out to rescue Rachel's birth mother from a mysterious psychiatric facility, but find themselves confronting their deepest vulnerabilities and fears. So, some of the talking points: Dr. Adamson's family finally gets to talk to Rachel. Why have I wrote family there?
I don't know.
I've got like the worst notes of all time.
You're banned from writing notes from now on.
Excuse me. So Dr. Adamson finally gets to talk to Rachel, doesn't he? And to sort of get her to use her powers, he slits his own throat, doesn't he? And she heals him. Which is, I think, the first time that you find out that she can heal as well.
Yeah, it's like a power level set now.
Yeah. Is this the episode where you do find out that Rachel must be in the facility? Because they go to rescue her, but I don't know if it's the first episode where you find out. I think it is, isn't it? Because I think they're talking about it. Yeah. Because Dick and Corey want to do some research, don't they? But Rachel and Gar, because I guess they portrayed this as them being young, and not really thinking about it, and they head off. So they obviously get captured when they get there, which is blatantly obviously going to happen. I don't mean that's negative, then that's just, what I'm expecting, when you got young people and jumping in like the dude,
Yeah.
That's not me having got young people on about these two characters being young and that. So obviously Dick and Corey go after them, but they get captured as well. And then all the Titans basically get tortured, apart from Rachel. So there's a scene as well in this. Might want to just quickly have a bit of a chat on this, where Robin actually thinks he's escaping, and I think it's quite obvious quite quickly that he's not escaping. He's obviously imagining he's escaping, and it's I think this is part of him breaking him, isn't it? Really, so
like mentally,
yeah. So Dr. Adamson is kind of, I think, trying to bribe Rachel at this point, isn't he? So he shows her. The Titans getting tortured, and these torture scenes I thought were pretty harsh, to be honest. It was kind of a very adult take on it, but I mean, Tim's being drugged, isn't he, and he's going through all sorts. But going on to Gar, I think the worst one for me was Gar, because he's getting electrocuted, and I'm like stabbing him.
Which is why he reacts the way he does when
he does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I think it's a good scene that.
Yeah, so Rachel goes on to, she kills Dr. Adamson. She kind of takes back the healing, doesn't she? That she did to him last episode.
Which is quite cool that she can do that.
Yeah. And quite scary as well. Rachel finds her mother, rescues Gar, who then kills his torturer, which you can tell he's quite shocked by that, can't you, in that scene?
But he's like the animal takes over at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. And he's angry, isn't he? Because the guy's.
I think that's a great scene.
Really tortured him, They obviously then go on to rescue Robin and then Corey. And Corey's scene where is this the same bit where they're cutting into her stomach?
Yes, I believe
they're on the episode now. What are they doing? And are they gonna? They're gonna chop a little finger off her somehow. Let's see if she can heal that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, this is a bit brutal. So once they all get out, then there's that scene, and then I think this is another brilliant Robin scene where he there's all them guards and they're all sort of recovering. And Robin's like, "I'll take care of them." And
Dick, bro, get it right.
Yeah,
Dick.
Sorry, he's he's kind of. I think pretty much at this point he's not wanting to go Robin anymore, is he?
He does at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah. which is going to go to the does at the end of the episode.
I've got a question for you about that when we get to
Corey burns down the asylum, and that's when, Dick's Robin suit is burning, and he's pretty much there and then decided, that's it for me as Robin. So go on, sorry, you said you were going to ask me a question.
Well, where does his costume come from in that moment when he burns his Robin costume?
Well, I presume when they go, it's in the back. It's in the back of the car.
Okay.
So I think when they capture them, anything in that car that they just take.
Right. Okay. They could have showed us that, couldn't they? I shouldn't grab it or something.
I just presumed it was in the back of the car.
Yeah. I personally think this episode's a bit of a waste of time. I think there's some good bits in it, but overall, I think it's one I won't be that bothered about revisiting. So if I was going to skip one, this is the one at once I'd probably skip.
I liked all the episodes to me. This is just
I liked everyone, but this is one of them episodes where I thought, you didn't need it, did you?
Well, I think this is about this is showing you the resilience. It's again character development to me, where it's showing you resilience of all these characters.
Yeah.
Also,
should we move on to Donna Troy, or are you not?
No, I was going to say something else. But
sorry.
It's also about meeting Rachel's mum in it. So it's
that's true.
Character as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you off.
I'm going to disagree with you, bro.
Okay. So Donna Troy.
I will say, just before you read this out, when I was watching it on Netflix, because if you listen in America, it's actually on Netflix in the UK, although it's not in America, it's on the DC streaming service. I didn't see a lot of the episodes, so when this episode came on, I didn't see that it said Donna Troy, so I was a bit confused at first.
Do you know Donna Troy was before you watched it, or did you not?
No, I know she is now, but I didn't know.
So she's related to Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
essentially, she's their sidekick. So Corey begins to recall events from the past. Rachel builds a better relationship with her mum, and Dick asks an old friend for help, which is Donna Troy. Yeah. So obviously, you get to see a flashback of Dick and Donna talking as kids, and
So like I was saying, sorry to interrupt you. At this point, I didn't know who she was, so I was trying to figure out who she was, and I was like, and me and my wife both thought.
She mentions Wonder Woman, doesn't she? Didn't you say Diana or something?
I think she does at a certain point, and we were like, "Oh, is it Batgirl?" I think we might have missed that initially. That she said Diana.
Well, I got goosebumps in this because she mentioned the Justice League, so.
Right.
Yes, that was quite cool. Rachel spends time with her mum and Gary in the safe house. Well, it's not really a safe house; it's her mum's house, isn't it?
No, this is where they go back to the.
Oh, sorry, they're in the safe house. But sorry, yeah. Dick decides to leave the Titans as he thinks mission accomplished and head to see Donna Troy. Rachel, her mum, Corey, and Gary are on a train. Right? Oh, this one on the train. I remember this one now. Corey starts to have flashbacks. Corey doesn't trust a man on the train.
I'm not sure if this is the first episode where Corey had the flashbacks, but when I was going through it, it was the first one where I saw it.
There's a lot here. Do you want me to read them all out, or should we just?
You don't have to. We can just talk about it. Go through a bit.
I think reading stuff out might get a bit boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wrote these talking points not for us to really read it out on the show, but so we had something to go. That'll be in the episode. So,
well, I quite like the stuff on the train. A lot of people weren't keen on it, but I didn't trust that guy either.
Well, I didn't trust him, and then I was like, oh no, he's just a guy that really likes it, because they sort of double bluffed you a bit, didn't they? Because you think, oh no, he's not him, and then later on it showed you, oh, he's an agent or whatever he is. Detective.
I love when we see Donna Troy use her powers as well.
Is that later in the episode after the bit?
She leaps over that bus, doesn't she?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's the bit with her and Robin. She sort of being playful with him at that point, didn't she? And, I totally agree. I think that was a really good one.
Obviously...
The only thing I didn't get sometimes in this show is why they use so much CGI. I know she obviously can't jump over that fast, but sometimes I was like...
budget or something?
I didn't know whether they just... I just didn't know if it had been easy to just use wires and have them...
Yeah, but you got expensive setting up wires, then, and you've got that's more time on the street in it. Whereas if you had a CGI character in,
yeah, maybe so.
I can see why they did that. This is obviously the one where they find out Corey was sent to destroy Rachel.
Yeah,
and they're heading back to the house, aren't they? As it comes to a close.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Corey was right about the guy on the train as well earlier in the episode, like you said.
And isn't this the one where the Gar he's the tiger, and he ends up stealing that truck off that guy because he put up to him as the tiger, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But I remember, obviously, Donna's storyline in this is she's trying to trick that guy who, he's like, is he get illegal like hunting or something and selling stuffed animals?
Oh, yeah.
So she's obviously trying
yeah.
to save the world in a different way, isn't she? Not because she's retired. Yeah. So that was quite a cool little stuff. And obviously, Dick jumps in, doesn't he, and kind of ruins it because he
completely ruins it for her.
Yeah. So obviously, like we said, well, the end ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, doesn't it? And then you get to the next episode, and they don't do anything with the cliffhanger. They'll save it for another week.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm thinking straight away, why is she healing her brain? This is not a good idea. And I think just before that you find out, and Dick and Donna have figured out what that writing is.
Yeah.
And they say,
that's what saying,
she's going to kill her, basically.
I said that. They find out she's going to kill her.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, should we move on to Hawk and Dawn? Sorry?
So this is the episode I was talking about. I think this is not necessarily my favourite because the subject matter's so tough, but I think this was the best before I got to the last episode.
It was a bit too thingy for me, this one.
Yeah, well, I think the drama in it and the storyline is so strong that I don't think you normally get this in a... I might be wrong, but I don't think you normally get this in a comic book show.
Would you want to read the synopsis out?
Yeah, so it's Hank reflects on his childhood trauma of being molested by his football coach to protect Don, his younger brother. Meanwhile, Dawn remains in her coma. Later, Don and Hank team up to become vigilantes who'd hunt down sex offenders while in college.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few tough bits in this. You've obviously got him being molested by his football coach, which is a horrible scene to watch because he's trying to save his brother, isn't he?
Especially as a father as well. It's like
I found this a hard episode to watch, but I think because of the drama, that's why I thought it was so good, so well done, so well acted. Obviously, you see his relationship with his brother and him getting out of college to becoming sort of vigilantes, and then bumps into Dawn. You think, oh, this is how they met, and at that same moment, they both lose. He loses his brother and she loses her mum as a car accident.
Yeah. It's awful.
Smashes straight into him. It's a pretty tough episode, actually. It
is, yeah. And I absolutely, I'm glad he gets revenge at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it's Dawn that, isn't it, who she finds out of the coach and she hunts him down.
Yeah, and I think he tries to protect her, doesn't she? But she's basically like, no, I'm going to stay and I'm going to...
Yeah, well, she's kind of on a bit of a rough ride, and he turns up, doesn't he? Because at one point it looks like she could get killed here. He pulls a gun on her, doesn't he, the coach?
Yeah.
And then, he comes and... I mean, does he kill him? I can't remember.
I think he does,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he kills him, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. But this, again, character development for those characters was brilliant.
And you keep seeing Rachel, don't you, asking for help, which is something that happens later, and it's like... It's almost like she's in like another world, isn't she? And you keep seeing her. They don't see her though, do they? We just see her as the audience.
It's quite interesting when they do that.
And then
a little bit how is this
Minka Kelly drops her dress near the end, doesn't she? And makes everything all right. So, should we move on to Koriand'r then?
Yeah, penultimate episode.
So, as Corey's memories come flooding back, she discovers her true mission regarding Rachel. While Dick and Donna discover Corey's alien origins, Rachel uses her powers to save Gar. Go on.
This is the episode, isn't it, where Corey goes back and finds a ship.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it looked really good. It looked high budget, didn't it? So
I'm pretty sure they built that as well. It looks the interiors anyway.
Yeah. They must have built that.
I think the thing's CGI. They think the ship itself, but I think when they're in it. They really built those interiors.
Yeah. In fact, we jumped a bit actually because this is the bit where Donna gets out of the lasso. Lasso.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and she's the one who makes Corey see what she's actually doing because it's almost like Corey's possessed when she's going to kill Rachel. It's almost like the mission's programmed into her brain. Yeah,
I totally agree with you. There's a little bit as well, isn't there, where Rachel mum meets an old neighbour who's the sheriff guy. Yeah,
and you make him feel a bit shifty, but he actually isn't. He's really nice.
No, it's kind of builds into, again, bringing in the character who
I am going to tell you right now.
Setting him up for later.
When they introduced her mum straight away, I thought I don't trust her.
Yeah, she seemed a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew straight away.
So basically, I think it's Donna notices, doesn't she, on the pictures that Corey's looking at in that book? She says, "Oh, they look a bit cozy." So then you're like, "Oh my god, the mum is really bad," and she's manipulating Rachel just to get her father back.
Yeah, because she's in love with him, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, which she does because she's obviously poisoned Gar or something, hasn't she? Because he looks in the mirror, doesn't he? He sees his mouth bleeding.
Yeah.
And you've also got the bit where he looks out and he can see the guy who he's killed, can't he?
Yeah.
And he starts to not feel well. Yeah. So I don't know if she's poisoning him from the very beginning, because at first
maybe
I thought,
because she's preparing all the meals and drinks and stuff, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, I kept thinking, is it all from the poisoning? Because at first I thought there was something wrong with the house.
I think maybe there is. Maybe it's some sort of gateway to the villain.
Yeah. So she manipulates him, doesn't she? Only way to help Gar is to bring her dad back, which obviously she does.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end of the episode then.
Yeah, and then we get to the season finale, which wasn't supposed to be the season finale. It was supposed to be.
No, I read that earlier. Yeah, which makes sense, because obviously when I finished this show, I was a bit like, well, wait a minute, that it's not ended.
I think
got the full storyline.
I think one of the reasons.
Clever.
Yeah, well, you think about it as well. It's not like a TV show where they've got to get the viewers back for the ratings, because you can watch it on demand. If you're in America, you can watch it on DC Universe. So when season 2 comes out, people will probably just watch it all the way through. It won't be like watching, like we're waiting like till later in the year or next year for the next episodes.
Yeah.
No, they won't be going for the same thing.
I think as well, to leave it like they did kind of really makes you want to see the next season. I think that's probably why.
I think as a season finale, it's disappointing, but I think as an individual episode, it's really good.
Yeah, well, this is my favourite episode of the entire show. Right,
this is the one that everyone hated.
Really?
Because they didn't think it worked. They thought it was like a rubbish season finale. Because you think about
she didn't get you when you didn't get
at
you
the
when,
end. Yeah. I always thought season 1 would end with the Titans forming, and it don't.
Yeah, well, let's go through it anyway.
Yeah. So you're gonna read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. So the episode's titled Dick Grayson. This is why I like this episode the best, because it's basically about him.
It kind of brings it full circle if you're not from the first episode, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. In the season finale, Trigon's powers force Dick into a powerful illusion. He sees himself living a great life, but he soon heads back to reality in Gotham City. So in this episode, basically, Dick thinks he's with Dawn, and that doesn't mean she's pregnant. He's already got another kid with her. He thinks he's living life of luxury, and Tim Drake turns up in a wheelchair.
Jason.
Sorry, I've sort of wrote it wrong. Jason Todd turns up in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I've been saying Tim Drake all day, which shows like that kind of fits in with his brashness on it and him jumping in.
Yeah,
because it's something to do with the Riddler, isn't it? And him not carrying guns, he says, and he says, "Oh, he won't carry a gun this time." So that's
something
what
like
happens.
that. It and obviously, basically, Batman's going off the deep end, isn't he?
Yeah, it brings in the bad news.
Yeah.
He basically wants Dick to help him. Dick's a bit like, I'm living life of luxury here. What the hell do I want to go back there for?
Well, he's happy. He's living a normal life, I'd say.
He is. Yeah. So obviously, as you do, Dick's going to go back and try and help. I suppose Bruce Wayne more than Batman, if you like, however you see it.
I just want to say as well, this episode, it's not trying to trick you. You know, it's not real all the way through because weird things keep happening. So they don't try and trick you into thinking it's real.
Well, it goes back to point. It goes back to Gotham as well, though, doesn't it? And it's like hell on earth. It's worse than the Gotham that we know Gotham as.
Yeah.
I
won't want to stay in that hotel.
Oh God, it's awful. And he goes, "Do you want fresh sheets?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So
one of the things I loved in this episode was the name dropped Superman a few times. It's just cool that the name dropped him and like he's a character in this world. I really liked that.
Yeah. So, Gordon's dead. There's a new guy in charge, and you don't want vigilantes as well.
Which is, I think that's Trigon, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, he's not the new guy in charge of.
Oh, is he just one of the cops then?
No, it's a different guy.
Sorry.
He sort of puts himself there, and there's like a little sort of flash noise, isn't there? So
Yeah, like weird things keep happening, don't they? He
Yeah.
like appears and he's not there before and stuff. Yeah.
Basically, Dick walks up, doesn't he, to what he thinks is a dead Joker, and he's like, "I'm too late."
Which,
and then
even though you couldn't really see him, it was still cool, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
You knew it was the Joker because he had the perfect
yeah.
suit
She never
and the
saw him
white.
properly at all, did you?
No,
But
even when he had
obviously,
that breathing apparatus on.
he is dead as well, though, isn't he? And Trigon basically brings him back to
Well,
life in the reality
yeah.
to make, because Dick's going to leave, isn't he? Because isn't he getting calls off a dawn to take kids ill, so he obviously wants to go home.
Yeah.
Bruce has already done the deed, so he's like, right, he's still alive, and he ends up in a hospital, doesn't he?
It's a little bit like that story, that Superman one for the Man Who Has Everything, where he gets to live a life on Krypton and he thinks he's really. Do you remember it? And he's been held by that plant, the Black Mercy, and it's making him think he's living in a real.
Yeah,
but because the real world's trying to bring him back, things keep happening and it gets worse. And I think this is very similar story, and they actually did an episode of Batman the Animated Series very much the same as well, where Batman thought he was living a normal life. Sorry, Bruce Wayne thought he was living a normal life.
Yeah.
And I like when they do stuff like this. It's kind of like it's quite really cool.
Yeah. So Joker's in hospital, and this is one bit I didn't get about this show. Why Corey had to be in it as an FBI? She was an FBI agent, wasn't she?
I think probably because she was contracted for X amount of episodes, and
so it just one of those things that I'm not complaining too much. I just didn't think it really made sense.
But maybe that because it's supposed to be Dick's mind. Maybe in his mind that she's there. Because you think about it, when they say the mind goes, the mind tries to bring you back. The mind's trying to bring him back in it. There's all these little bits that are trying to bring him back. So maybe she's part of that.
So as the episode goes on, as they go on the talking, Corey and Dick, the lights go out the hospital, don't they? So he knows Batman's here. Straight away, runs back to the room. Joker's dead with a batarang in his chest, and this is the first time you see Batman in it. You don't see Batman, but you see
it's
Shadow
like
Batman.
You used to see Superman in the first season of Supergirl, and they were like blurry or in shadow.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, and it's just a shadow of Batman, but it was still really cool.
Yeah, but Dick tries to give him a way out, doesn't he? Because he hadn't actually killed him, and he's like, "You've got lucky," but then he comes and kills him because he finds out he's not dead.
Yeah. So it heads on from there to I wrote Robin heads a task force, but I don't need if he heads.
You need to say Dick, right? It's Dick.
Sorry, Dick.
Well, he kind of does, doesn't he? He's sort of like he's the Oracle, isn't he? He's talking him through what to do, and because he is a cop, isn't he? I think you forget that throughout the series. He's a cop. He is a cop at this point. And he obviously sends him into the Batcave and into Wayne Manor because he knows where.
Well, that's what I mean. So he heads it, but he's not actually taking.
You think about it. He thought he'd have gone in himself anyway because Batman's always got a plan.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this is how our Trigon sets it up, doesn't it? Because Trigon is the last one to get. Is it? No, is he not the last one? He does
get killed, doesn't he? Well, Batman, innit?
Well, yeah, but obviously Corey then's the one that sends him over the edge.
Yeah.
But when he's in, don't Trigon say to him he's over there or something, or is it already talking to Corey? I remember dying at some point.
I can't remember.
But yeah, basically,
anyway,
Dick sets off all explosions, doesn't he? He traps Batman, he goes in, he kills him, so Trigon's got what he wanted. He wants Dick to get pushed to the edge to kill somebody.
And he kills Batman.
Yeah, and he kills Batman. And again, they did this really well in this, but they didn't really show you Batman, but they did. Yeah. You always saw him from behind or something. You could see his head.
Even though you don't see him in the fight scene is still really good because it's kind of a bit stroby in it, and he's a bit all over the place. And
I think Dougie. I think he said this was his favourite episode as well on Facebook, and I think why
he probably did a Batman thing.
Yeah, because it's the Batman thing.
I just think if you'd have had that next episode, which should have been the finale, which I think in the finale they must become the Titans, actually become a team and defeat Trigon, or at least put him on ice for a while.
Well, that's how
I almost think it should have come to that. It should have come to that end where they became the Titans, because the show is about becoming the Titans.
Yeah, as I watched this episode, I kept checking the time, and I said to Al, "Well, this ain't gonna be the end of the series."
Yeah,
because there's only 9 minutes left, so we're not going to get the end.
What I think will happen is when people watch it and binge it, say they're coming in season 2 and binge it, they won't notice and they won't care.
Probably.
But because of where it is, and it's the finale for now, we ain't got another episode to watch. We're all a bit like, well, is that your season finale? Because you've kind of ended it on a bit of a downer as well.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I think the thing is with this though, it's like one of them minute where they've tried to just leave it to a point where you really want season 2, and I really want season 2. So I got why they did it, but I also get why people aren't happy about it because you needed sort of something more. But you also do get your sort of cliffhanger with Robin with his eyes like Rachel's. You know, Rachel when she with his power, is that like I describe it as her alter ego, but is that what it is? I don't really know.
I think that's spot on. I think basically because she's part demon, I think the demon part of her is what comes out when she kills or does anything bad.
Yeah.
So, right, do we want to talk about this end credit scene? Should I say
this was probably the most geek out moment for me of the entire show, to be honest. Because, like I said to you earlier, I thought this was Teen Titans Go, and this end credit scene. If you haven't watched it yet, and you are still listening, even though you're not worried about spoilers, I'd recommend you don't spoil this bit.
Yeah.
Cut it off now and go watch it.
So I'll talk through it first. So basically, we are in a lab, which I'm assuming is Cadmus Labs, because that's what it was in the comics. And you can hear people getting... You can hear glass breaking, you can hear people getting smashed, and you see this muscly ass guy grab this scientist, and the scientist says... Does the scientist say something to him? I think he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember what he says, though.
But anyway, and then you see this muscly guy open these doors up and he's naked. You can't quite see him. It's a bit, might be a Terminator a bit, that bit, actually.
Yeah.
And then he opens up, he goes to open up this crate and you see his arm and he's got the Superman logo on his arm.
Yeah.
And he rips the crate open and there's a dog in there with red eyes, which is clearly... So it's clearly Superboy, Connell, and it's Crypto the Superdog.
Yeah. I was surprised by Crypto the Superdog as well. Was that in Young Justice?
He's not in Young Justice. He's got a wolf in that, but he's been in like various other cartoons and obviously comics for years and stuff.
Is the guy who's done this scene, is he playing Superboy then?
No, I think that's a stunt man. Well, I'll tell you something, right? I knew Superboy.
He looked a bit too muscly, I thought.
Yeah, I knew Superboy was coming because a long time ago, before the season started, they said they were casting a role for someone called David, and the description just sounded like Superboy, so I thought, they're bringing Superboy in. Now, I'm not expecting him to be in season 2, episode 1. I won't be shocked if he didn't show up for like 3 or 4 episodes into the season.
Possibly, yeah.
But and then they'll probably cast somebody now as Superboy.
So this kind of was great, but kind of confused me at the same time, because now I'm like, is it meant... Well, I guess it's its own thing. It's not meant to be the Teen Titans Go. It's not meant to be Young Justice. It's somewhat of a mix of all of it.
Well, Jeff Johns did the Teen Titans comics, and that had Superboy Robin, although that Robin was Tim Drake.
Right.
But Young Justice made the Robin Dick Grayson and Superboy, so I think they might be playing on that relationship, because Superboy and Dick Grayson become like best friends in Young Justice.
Yeah.
So I think they're mixing Young Justice. They're taking everything. They're taking all the Titans stock, because Young Justice is basically the Titans.
Yeah.
They're taking the Titans, all the Titan stories, and they're putting in what they want to put in. And for me, I mean, obviously as the Superman fan, the fact that I'm going to be getting Superboy on a show is like a big thing for me, because Superboy is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I liked him when he was in the Death of Superman, the Return of Superman, sorry, where he's a bit cocky, which is like in the Reign of the Superman film. He's kind of like the younger cocky brashness, but then I also kind of like the serious take on it, which I think the Titans show do, where he's a bit more, he's quite angry, and Young Justice did that, and he's very angry at first, and he kind of learns to control his anger as time goes on. So I think we'll probably see that aspect of Superboy in season 2.
Yeah, possibly.
I won't be shocked if they end up fighting him first.
Well, ain't that what they're doing in Young Justice?
No, well, sort of, yeah, they do actually, sorry. They do fight him in that, but it's only briefly. But in the New 52 Titans comic, Superboy was created as a weapon to fight the Titans, and he ended up joining them, and obviously after a short period of being kind of like their enemy. So I think they might go down that route. So do you want to give it a rating out of 10, or do we know what you'd like to rate out of 10?
Yeah, I would give this a 9 out of 10.
Cool. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's good, but I think they can do better.
Well, I think about halfway through the show, I thought, this is a 10 out of 10 show to me. I just can't see how it gets any better than this. And then I think the second half, I don't want to say it was weaker, but something about the second half. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because we like that introduction thing, don't we? Always like those ones like Batman Begins, and you get the
origins.
The origins. So that's kind of like how they all come together, the beginning half. So maybe that's why I liked it a bit more, even though my favourite episodes were in the second half.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of questions related to Titans. I think we should answer those now because the episode's gone on so long. I think we'll save the others. Maybe we could do a Q&A episode next time we record.
Yeah, if you got, were you saying just do Titans questions now?
Yeah, so I've got a couple.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think because we asked questions before, that's why it's gone on so long. Just done the questions. But anyway.
So Lord Wahid, who's a good friend of ours, we work with him. He has asked, "Do you think we will get a backstory to Donna Troy in season 2?"
Now, this was the one that confused me. I saw this on Twitter, and it confused me a little bit because did we not? I'll tell you.
You didn't really get a backstory episode, did you?
No, do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking he asked a question about Dawn. He didn't. He asked about Donna Troy. That is a good question. I hope so because I really liked her. I think she comes across like you can see that she's Wonder Woman's understudy or whatever we want to call them. What do they call them? Sidekick. Yeah, I think there's something the way she comes across. It's very much she's like another Wonder Woman type character.
Yeah,
I quite liked that about her. So I certainly hope so. I would say the way it ended, it's very likely. I think now because you got the backstory for the others. So who else's backstory can they tell? So that to me is a person that they've got there already who's in, not they had to reintroduce that's already there that can go into that backstory on. So I actually think, we probably will.
I am going to say I don't think we'll get a full one because I think this show is never going to show us Wonder Woman. You're never going to see Batman. You're never going to see Superman. You're probably going to get like hints of them, like the shadowy thing. And I think with Donna Troy, the best you're going to get is like what you got with Dick with the Tony Zuko thing, where it's very much a specific flashback to a certain point where Wonder Woman wasn't there. So I think if you do see anything, it's going to be something like that.
Yeah, you saw Dick a lot as a kid, but you did actually still see Donna, didn't you, as a kid as well? So
yeah, that's what I mean. I don't see you seeing much. You won't see anything like you're not going to get Wonder Woman coming in and being like,
do you not
need to fight this way or whatever?
I don't know really how it works. So did Wonder Woman train her on Earth, as in not on? Well, I'm saying on Earth. Like what's the place she's from?
Themyscira, the island.
It is Themyscira. I was going to say that. Yeah, I meant like in sort of our world because we're not supposed to know Themyscira exists, are we, as normal human beings?
Yeah.
So she didn't train Donna at Themyscira. I'm
not 100% on the comic books of Donna Troy. I know.
No, I didn't know.
Very little of her. So
I know absolutely nothing about one.
I assume she's in Amazon, but maybe she isn't.
Interesting, but I do hope that we get some kind of.
Yeah.
It'd be great if they could do something sort of mini Themyscira because basically with Robin they did sort of it was almost like a mini Batcave and I thought it was really clever. It didn't look minuscule, but when you think about what you actually saw, you didn't see a lot.
No, you don't see a lot.
It was just enough. I sometimes think that's better to do that though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because it's almost like
enough.
I kind of like getting. Because I used to watch Smallville a lot. I kind of like getting teased a bit. It kind of makes it a bit more.
Yeah.
It's a bit more exciting in a way because if they go all the way, it's almost like.
It's like sometimes when you get a backstory, don't you, and you think, I wish they wouldn't have told me because the history of the character was better than the backstory. So, like holding information back is always a good thing.
Answer the last few questions.
Yeah, sure.
These are all from Madame Bessie, I know, so some of them are a bit tongue in cheek.
All right.
So I will save his best question for last. So he's put Dickery forever from the first fireball to the last, which is obviously in reference to Dick and Cora. And he's put, should the greatest Clark Kent of all time, Tom Welling, play Superboy, which is obviously another little joke. He's a bit too old to play Superboy now.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
with casting with Superboy, I'm not very good with casting, but I assume they're going to just pick somebody who's of age appropriate. But I think the thing with Superboy is he doesn't really age, so I wonder how they'll cast that. I wonder if they'll cast someone who's already kind of 20, 21 or something, when they're not going to grow much. But
I could, to be honest, if you would have asked me to cast Titans, I wouldn't have picked any of these actors because I don't know who they are.
No.
Apart from, obviously, Todd, as I know him. I forgot his name.
Yeah, Alan Richardson.
Blue Mountain State. Yeah, Alan Richardson, yeah.
Well, he was a lot of fan choices for Shazam.
Oh,
interestingly. So,
yeah. Do you know when you first saw him as well, I didn't realise that was him at all.
Did you not?
I didn't realise he had a jawline like that. He's got a perfect superhero
jawline.
He
has, yeah. I'll tell you what, he's got a hell of a singing voice as well.
Well, wasn't he on American Idol?
Yes, he was, yeah.
So, there you go.
And then, lastly, do you think they will ever bring Kid Flash on the show?
I hope so. Well, as soon as I saw the ending where Superboy are thinking, does that mean we're going to get some of the other Injustice characters like Kid Flash? Because Kid Flash is my favourite.
Kid Flash was a Titan before he was a Young Justice.
All right. Well, I just know from the cartoon, but he's probably. I'm trying to think. He's in my favorite. I think he is my favourite character in the cartoon.
He is good. It was good in season 1. It was quite jovial and stuff. I think season 2 he went a bit serious, but
yeah.
I think yes, because Kid Flash is no longer on the CW. I don't know what happened, but he hasn't come back.
Wally?
No, he's not come back now.
All right.
He joined Legends for about 3 episodes, and he didn't come back for last season, new season.
All right.
Which I think to me says I don't know if they don't know what to do with him, or I don't know if somebody's gone right. We're pulling him off the shows because we want to introduce him to Titans eventually.
I can't see him using the actor as well. I think.
No! It's going to be a brand new actor to do it.
Yeah.
So I 100% think he will show up on Titans at some point.
Awesome. Then you've got another character to go through the backstory with.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap us up then.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll try and I think we should get to that Q&A episode before we do another proper episode.
Yeah. We won't record next week, but maybe the week after.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, if you want to ask us a question for that episode, you want to follow us and find out what we're doing, you can follow us at MBP Movie Pod on Twitter, which I think is probably the best place to reach us. If you've got any questions, and if you want to obviously subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Podbean or even YouTube, and leave us a comment, let us know what you're thinking. If you don't like what you're hearing.
Yeah, just to point out as well, if you are on Android, there are other devices, other pieces of software that people are using to listen to the podcast that I think it was one called Beyond Pod, which I've never heard of.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
So there's things out there. I'm going to try and get us on Stitcher as well. I need to look into that.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to suggest maybe let Dan don't cut me off, or he gets his notes right,
You cut me off loads tonight. Yeah, my notes were terrible, but you cut me off loads tonight.
Hey, we're both as bad as each other. Yeah. So that'll do it. So see you next time.
Yep. See you next time.
Goodbye.